right, well, Venice is on all-out war with the tourist. Not quite. They did a small measure to help regulate tourism, because the problem is Venice has attracted people from around the world at such great numbers that is now being detrimental to the area. Even UNESCO is like, yeah, this is a heritage site, but is it gonna be here later? It's just getting damaged. People walking, throwing trash, the boats coming in and out, creating such pollution around the area that there's no life anymore, hardly. Most of the residential areas have been repositioned, what is it called? Remapped to be actual like hotels or Airbnbs and such. So the amount of tourists is actually now higher than the amount of residents, or the amount of accommodations, I should say, for tourists. And so you have all these sort of issues coming out from Venice, and finally the government and probably the people who live there were like, we gotta do something. Like, I know it's our main like bread and butter of our life, but this much is just too much. So they have now imposed a €5, I guess, travel tax to Venice. Everyone who is staying more than one night and who is not a resident or have a very good like business purpose or something for going to Venice must pay this €5. The article did not say, and I forgot to look this up, if it's 5 per person or 5 per like group or something, but just from my understanding, it will be 5 per person from people who are above 14 years old. And they're hoping that this, A, increases revenue for the city so that they can deal with the damages that are happening, and B, reduces the tourism so there's a little bit of wiggle room, a little bit of breathing room from now on, and maybe helps reduce the amount of trash and pollution happening as well. All in all, Venice is, you know, a beautiful place to a lot of people. It's also very interesting because it's a place where the roads are water. Like, it's just, there's something romantic about it, or at least interesting. However, having too many people in one area, as you have experienced yourself, can absolutely ruin it for everybody. Now, I will ask you this, but first I'll ask you guys. What parts, besides Venice, in Italy would you want to visit? How about you?
Oh, I'm quite a fan of art. I guess I don't know that much about classical art, which I know is probably most common there, but definitely Rome, Florence, Venice, and I really would want to go there for the art, mainly.
Yeah.
Yes.
And art, you're going for the, like, sculpture, painting art, not the architecture.
Well, I'd love to see the architecture, but I'm sure, you know, in so many cities, there'd be great architecture. But I would be mostly interested in the museums and galleries and cathedrals within the sort of religious buildings, a lot of beautiful old art. Very unique. I'd love to do it.
Yeah, I had the chance of going to Italy, and there's just art everywhere. It's you're just walking. It's a walking art piece. Whether you're into architecture or paintings and stuff, it's I recommend it.
Yes, I've been to Pisa, which is actually really tiny and not that far away from Florence. But I was there for such a short time. We didn't do the trip over to Florence, but just that little taste that I got in Pisa was magic.
Yeah, and hopefully you got your pizza there.
I did.
Yeah. What do you think some of the best times would be to avoid large crowds when visiting these more popular locations?
In Italy?
I think in general.
In general, I check out when the school holidays are. If you're going to Europe, there'll be spring bank vacation, Easter vacation, summer vacation. If you can figure out when those are, don't go at that time, because that's when not only the tourists from Asia or the Americas or whatever are coming in, then all the European tourists as well also are taking that opportunity to travel. So
and children too.
Again, sometimes it varies from country to country when the bank holidays are, or when the sort of red days, as you call them here in Korea, are. But yeah, avoid that. For sure. And avoid the summer season. If you can stand it a bit cooler, go early in the season or late in the season. It's going to have less people.
I've done that a few times, and it's worth it. It is a little sad because sometimes some places are not popular during that season, so they might close or have reduced hours. But there's no people, and it's so much better.
Yeah. Check your opening hours, because there is an off season as well when stuff will all shut down. But yeah, early or late.
All right. Well, let's avoid the large crowds, but not avoid the vocabulary down below. Try to use that in your everyday life as much as possible, because there's some good ones down there, including monetize, one of my favorite verbs. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Detrimental.
Detrimental.
Curtail.
Curtail.
Deter.
Deter.
Palpable.
Palpable.
Monetize.
Monetize.